Thank you for Patreon now for donating to the Patreon.
Hey guys, it's Vandiazo, back in our Pokemon Scarlet and Violet video, so I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't like, subscribe, and let's go and start, shall we? So, okay, I know I said last time was the last Scarlet and Violet video, but this time is actually the last Scarlet and Violet video because I'm taking this idea from one of my favorite YouTubers, Tail of the Toaster, where at the end of each of his Let's Plays, he does something called a thumbnail review, where, he just kind of goes over the thumbnails of every thumbnail of the Let's Play, and then goes along with, like, the story of each of them, and I'm like, hey, I've always wanted to do that, so I meant to do that with LBX, never did it. I should probably go back and do it at some point, but, this time I'm gonna do it for Scarlet and Violet, so let's go and get this started, shall we? So, this is just like the, I guess like where the theme kind of starts out at, because for this Let's Play, I still had no idea how to do proper, like, pictures. So when I was thinking of thumbnails, I didn't have anything really super big in mind. In fact, I still thought I was going to be doing all my thumbnails on my phone, but thanks to me remembering this one website I used to use for I don't remember what I used it for, but I was like, I'm going to try to find this. Went through like a few Google searches, eventually found it, and decided, let's slap on our thing. So we have the standard thing I started doing, I think it was Sword and Shield, where I put both icons in the top corners, because like it is technically a playthrough of both games. Granted, I didn't show off like actual gameplay of both games for majority of it, but it still had its exclusive scenes from Violet and Scarlet respectively, so I had to. And then as for the first thumbnail, I didn't really have an idea to do, because normally I do the box cover, but I was like, well, if it's of both the games, I feel like it'd be weird just to do one of Scarlet, and then I did one with Scarlet and Violet, it just looked weird as well. So I was like, let's go for the duck one, or not the duck one, let's just go for the starter one. So we have Fukoko, I already forgot your name, and I'm sorry, Quaxley, and then Sprigatito. So, it was a really nice thumbnail to kind of get that going with. My main worry is that, like, munching oranges thumbnails, because I remember at the start of the video of the first one, I said, I don't want to pick the same starter as munching orange, and I was kind of, like, comparing it to that, so, like, this is the only thing I've seen of Scarlet and Violet, so I was trying to avoid every, like, bit of copying I have, so there was that with the thumbnail. Then move on to the next one, which is just a whole bunch. Sadly, I can't go order by order, and that is the one that has a weird angle for the cropped image, but there's a little bit more at the bottom. I just don't know why it's not popping up. But that is it the other one? Oh, no. Oh, I can open them at the same time. I should have done that beforehand. Like, here's episode 2 thumbnail. I actually forgot what episode 2 is called. But, it's nothing too big. This one I had a lot of different ideas going for it. I really wish I still had the original pictures so I kind of show them off. But there was pretty much this one which I chose to go with, because the one I really wanted to go with was super blurry and you couldn't like make it out, but it was between this, the tail slap from Koraidon to the Houndoom, and then Koraidon transforming into this form. And I did want to go with that one too, except when I actually set it up, it just felt so empty. Like, it's just like a straight column of Koraidon looking into the sand, or like you looking into Koraidon, and everything was either blurry or, again, it just felt empty. So at the end of the day, I just chose to go like, let's just take this picture, even though it's like a little, you can see the glare of the computer kind of in like the blinds, but might as well throw the things on there, because at the end of the day, it looks less like empty compared to the other ones. Then we have episode 3's thumbnail, which is Naraja Academy. Okay, I don't know why the Quaxley one, or not the Quaxley one, the starter one had like nothing weird on it, and then this one does. But so Naraja Academy's thumbnail, very simplistic. We have the thing as the top left, top right. I'm not going to bother saying that anymore. But then, of course, we have the Academy, which I think I had to Google search an image up just to get like a clear shot, I think. And then afterwards, I just threw the words Naraja Academy down there, because this is almost, if you look at it, a direct replica in both games of Violet and Scarlet. Like, it does almost look exactly the same, except something I noticed, the Pokeball is actually a different color depending on the game, which I'm now worrying as of recent late. I've realized that every image, like, for Scarlet and Violet is tailored and for the Violets. I'm not joking. Like, if you genuinely look it up and, like, go, especially, like, if you go through, like, Bulbapedia, anything that is supposed to be version exclusive, like, they will most likely be Violet, like, they'll show the Violet stuff. Like, if you go to the Team Star section in Bulbapedia, you will actually notice they have the Violet clothing, quote unquote, instead of their like Scarlet colors, because they do change color slightly. But had to Google search Naraja Academy. I really hope that is actually Naraja Academy, and then put it there just to label it. And then, of course, we have thumbnail number 4. This one, again, is a weird image for what it was set up as. This was our road to Cortondo. I didn't really know what to do here. I remember I had some idea in mind. I don't remember what it was, but I tried it. It was way too, like, framey, like, you know, like, for example, it looked like you could clearly see like the way we were headed was this way, but then like you could kind of see like the original frame, like we're somewhere over here, kind of. It just like didn't look pretty at all, so I was like, okay, gotta find something. At the end of the day, we had no really good shot, so I was like, okay, let's just take this shot, and then let's just put the standard Scarlet and Violet on it, because it is kind of like a road to Cortando, so that's actually where I got the title from. Then we have thumbnail number 5, which is this one, Katie. So Katie is an interesting one to say the least, because for those of you that don't know, at the end of the, or not, in the original video, we lost to Katie actually, because I didn't realize Fairy had a resistance to bug, and then I lost to Katie because I did something stupid. And then I did the redo, and then the actual one where we won was the thing that stayed in, and then if you just check the description of the video where we fought Katie, you kind of figure the one where we lost. I never really thought of a thumbnail for the one where we lost, but yeah, this is just a thumbnail for Katie. It kind of cemented a theme where if you check all the gym leader thumbnails, it's pretty much them in this stance with their, what's it called? The Terra Orb, either sparkling with the swirls around it or just like in this position before it starts to swirl, and then with the Scarlet and Violet, because at the end of the day, it looked really pretty to me, and there are a handful that looked especially pretty to me, but I kind of just ran with this theme for all the gym leaders, so nothing really changed on that front. Then, of course, there is our Titan Pokemon. So this again is just very simplistic. Like, we have Cloth up here, it takes up majority of the room. We have Scarlet, we have Violet. Swap those two as I hovered over them. Like, it's very simplistic. There's not much more I can say about it. It's very easy to do, and I like the quality of it. So like, take that as it is at face value. Next up we have is this one, Brailets. As I said, we cemented the theme, them holding their Terra Orb, doing their face. You can kind of see a little bit of the blinds in the background, Pokemon Violet and Scarlet in their top corners. And then this time I was like, let's try something unique, and let's throw along with Sudowoodo and Florgato and Flame Charcadet over here, just to, you know, show off some more Pokemon, because looking at Brailets' original thumbnail, it was looking kind of empty, and I did end up wanting to take a little bit away of the focus on the blind, so I chose to, you know, do these guys in one thumbnail. Next up, we have on the thumbnail list, Giacomo. So this one was the first one for the Team Star guys. I was really proud that I could just, like, strictly take a screenshot from recording, because as you saw from before, a lot of the times, like, there was glare, or like, you can still kind of see the blinds here, but not as much, but like, especially like with the last one, you could definitely see blinds in the background. So being able to just take a clean screenshot of Giacomo's was great, because I always want to get like the, you know, their text in there. I just tried to click on it now because I thought that was fake text, but from the editing, but no, that's actually the real Giacomo text. You know, we've got the Violet, we got the Scarlet. It's just all around like a clean thumbnail. Like, it's not the highest quality, obviously, but it was just very simplistic, and it didn't require much work. Next up on the list is we have the Bird Titan. I wanted to get the thumbnail over the birds dropping stuff on us, but yeah, that didn't have good quality, so I was like, what's the next best thing? And I tried like everything I could. There was nothing I could do for quality on the bird, so I just like gave up and just took like this screenshot is right before like the battle menus pop up, so I took it and then just ran with it. That's all I could do, and then I just, again, slapped the Scarlet and Violet thing on it because I can, I would. Also, if you think the Scarlet and Violet thing looks like one is bigger than the other, they're actually not. Because how I edit these was I took this, right, or like I would copy one over, it was always alternating. I would turn them into the size and I'd copy the other one, I would hover the other one over it, I'll line it up, and then I would just do this with it. So, as you see, they're actually the same size. Scarlet just arbitrarily looks bigger than Violet for some reason, but that's just how it is. It's not because I misedited it, that's just actually how it looks. Then next up we have on the list is one of my favorite thumbnails, actually, and that is, you know, Iona's battle. And this is the one I was talking about earlier when I said that there's one with the Terra Orb shine that I think looks really good, and that was Iona's, because when I was trying to do her picture, a lot of the glariness was visible, except in this one specific shot I got, where, like, we can see the lights kind of going around, we can still see her pretty visibly, and, like, you can kind of see some strands of her hair from, like, the previous, smooth movement, like, going around. It just all around looks great, and it looks great for like a streamer like Iona. Like, she's very flashy of a type of character. I usually expect something big from her, so seeing all like these sparkles, I think it lined up really well, and it also just seemed very color fitting with the Scarlet and Violet. So I like the way this thumbnail turned out personally. And next up we have is Melee's. So Melee's was the weird one because Melee didn't really get a good quality image for hers, but I mean, I did want to get the text. It is like a really bright though, but it does fit in with the color of Scarlet, and then Violet's kind of naff. Here's a quick note, actually. If you pay close attention to, again, I say, to like anything on the internet that talks about any character, most of them have their Scarlet outfit. And what I mean by this is for Melee, while her boots stay the same red color, and her hair does too, her choker right here actually turns purple. And if you don't believe me, go to Bubblepedia, look up Team Star. They actually use the violet one. Go to the websites I was linked into the description of the Pokemon videos, and again, they will show the violet version of it. So it's just interesting that they show most of the violet ones. So this is one of the few times I actually get to see Melee in her full Scarlet outfit. Granted, it's a subtle change, but it's a change nonetheless. And then we have Kofu. So Kofu is when I started to realize that I was doing a theme with all the gym leaders. I actually didn't notice it before until after I got to Kofu. And I looked at Kofu and I was like, this is kind of disappointing, but I couldn't find anything else that I wanted to use for the thumbnail of Kofu, so I was like, this is what it is. I mean, Kofu, it kind of fits his personality. He's a laughing man, he's still got that bright Terra shine, but it does feel a little bit empty here at the bottom, so maybe I could have thrown in some more Pokemon there, but I mean, tech as usual. But I do like how there was sand in the background. Would have been great for another thumbnail I was trying to do, but every time I tried to, it got ruined, so there's that. Next up, we have one of my favorite thumbnails, simply because of what it reminds me of and how I got to this conclusion, and that is Orthworm Attack, aka the one from when we fought the Titan Orthworm. So the Titan ones, except for Cloth, were always my trouble because those ones always were super big, and they were always either blurry or they would move too fast, so I wouldn't be able to catch a good picture of them no matter how hard I tried. So Orthworm, I don't know how I did it, but I was just going through at the slowest pace possible, and then I saw this clip of because I was trying to get one as it was coming out of the Herba Mystica after eating it, and somehow I had paused it perfectly on this moment, and I was like, I'm gonna take a screenshot of this just in case I need it for later. So I took a screenshot. I went for 5 more minutes of trying to find a good thumbnail. I was like, well, it's a good thing I took a screenshot earlier. So I came back to this thumbnail, slapped on Scarlet and Violet, and I was like, seems a little bit empty. Let's throw an Orthworm Attack just cause this looks like an anime guy. It looks like an anime character from Power Rangers or what's it called, Super Sentai? Is that what the thing is called in Japanese? I don't fucking know, actually, so I really hope this was Japanese name, otherwise that's something completely different. But, you know, where they're jumping into, their big robots after doing their flip. That's what it looks like! That's literally what it looks like! And that's what it reminds me of. That and, the Buff Diglett thumbnail that my friend more or less forced me to do for my Sun and Moon playthrough. So, all around, I like this thumbnail a lot. It's actually one of my favorites, and probably one of the things I'll live forever with infamy with. Next up, we have this one. So this was our first on-camera loss. Yes, we technically did lose to Cortando's gym leader on camera, but that one we took out from the video. This one, though, we actually kept that in, and that was Atticus of the Poison Star crew. So we got stomped the first time around. I didn't look. It was where I started to get cocky. I didn't look at their levels, which is what I was starting to do, but that wasn't because I was cocky, it's because I kept forgetting and I was recording everything back-to-back at once. And this is actually the video where I stopped recording everything back-to-back, but then I was like, I'm gonna do it. This isn't gonna be that bad. It's Poison type, which none of my teammates have outs to, but it should be fine. Atticus destroys me, and I'm just so depressed, and I'm like, I shouldn't have been cocky. And then I train up for an hour or two, then I come back and I kick his ass in 5 seconds. But I really did love his flip, except this isn't where his text popped up at. So I was like, let's do a thumbnail with his text. So I took a picture of it with his text, and then I realized as I was doing the editing, it was the worst text I've ever seen. It was so blurry, you could tell nothing. So I was like, okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take the flip, because I really like his flip. We're gonna put the Scarlet and Violet on as we do. And then I legitimately looked up the font that Pokemon uses for their text. I don't remember if I actually got it or not from this website, but I looked up the font, and if I didn't find one, I tried to find one that was similar. Then I did what they do, and I did here, let me get to the text button real quickly. And I made the text purple, and I had it fill the back, sorry, I had it yellow, and I filled the, where's the thing on it? I filled the outline behind it with purple, and then I, had it to the hot, a mid-obscency, so it could basically have this little highlight effect to it. I legitimately, word for word copied and pasted the, the title, Team Stars Poison Crew Atticus. That's pretty much what I did, and I enjoyed that thumbnail. It was one of my favorites, and it has one of my favorite episodes ever, the one where we lost and I had to not get cocky. Then we have, yes, the cursed episode, phase episode, the one where I felt So horrible. This, and this in the background are all an accident because I forgot to, like, take the thing off, and I forgot how to. But, yeah, no, this was, the last time we had Faye on the team. I think this was the last picnic we took, too, which was an accident because I kept wanting to do picnics, but I kept forgetting to. But, yeah, like, we had Faye on the team for so long, and this episode was just supposed to be where we just make it to Medali and not get lost, because literally the episode, or like 10 minutes before I recorded this episode, I had checked how to get there from Violet and got halfway there on the path, and then on Scarlet, 10 minutes after I started the video, I already got lost, and then thanks to that, I found time to go get our last team member, Espada, and that involved us kicking off Faye. So I felt really bad, but I mean, Flame was here, you know, Flame got to be here with Faye, who I still forget now if like Faye was the one that was the opponent for Flame when we caught Flame, but it's always been my headcanon that that was the case and that Flame and Faye trained together, so then when Faye had to leave, Flame was like, I'm gonna pick up the slack, I'm gonna do every win I got for Faye. So that was just a thing on my mind, and sadly, again, Faye had to go this episode when that was never supposed to be the case, but Flame, I'm glad I got to focus in the thumbnail too. Plus, it's actually a really good quality image, so I had to use that as my thumbnail. Then we have, again, Larry. You know what? It makes sense for him to be in this thumbnail position. It's boring at this point. Everyone's had the exact same thumbnail so far. You know, we've got the Scarlet thing, we've got the Violet thing, we got the gym leader doing their thing with, like, the spowls around. I was tempted to kind of try to spice it up with, like, Staraptor, going against, like, Watts and Fang and stuff like that. But I was like, it worked with the Braille's video, but also this one kind of needs to be bland because it's Larry of all things, so I was like, leave it as it is. Have the nice little sparkles, and that's pretty much all I had to do. Then we move on to Rhymes. So Rhymes was packed. The thing was with Larry, he just deserved to be boring. Rhymes, I was like, nah, I'm gonna try it with Rhyme. So Rhyme, you know, we got the big Scarlet, we got the big Violet, because fuck proportion sizes. I think you can see a little bit of blinds in the background, but we got that nice Spiral, we got the Dead Eyes, because this is the one I didn't want to do it with necessarily, but she had the Dead Eyes. I was like, I have to. And then, you know, I got the team lined up so it wasn't boring. So, you know, we got the Toxtricity. I tried to find a Terrestrialized Toxtricity on the fandom. I couldn't find one for shit. We have the Ghost Hound, whose name will lose me right now. We had Primeape M, because, you know, M was starting to become a prominent member of this team. We had Fang, because Meowscarada. And then we had Esparta, who is becoming a stronger member of the team as we go on. So, you know, we just have our, like, teammates lined up here, going with, like, the 3 major ones of the fight, and then, like, her 2 major ones with her Dead Eyes, and again, like, the whole consistency of it. All around, I love it, because you can also see a little bit of snow in the background, too. So it all kind of, like, worked out in terms of colors, in my opinion. Then we have this thumbnail, which I didn't like, but it's the one I had to go with, and that is the one where we made our way to Alfornido after taking on the Titan for Quaking Earth. And the reason why I didn't like this is because if you check the battle, there was like this sandstorm that kind of went on during, and I was like, oh my god, that's so cool. And I tried to find a clear image of that, except I could find no clear, non-blurry, and/or have a very brighter curtain in the background. So I was like, okay, what's the next best thing I can do? And this is kind of it. Like, you can still see the blinds, but it's not as bad, and you can see my computer, but again, compared to like the blurriness of the other one, it's not as bad. Then, you know, it was like, let's just throw in Fang for another thumbnail. Let's get Esparta in here. Let's get M, because M evolved, and that's pretty much how this thumbnail came to be. It's not a thumbnail I wanted to do, but it's a thumbnail I kind of had to do. Then we have this one. So, just like Rhymes, this one kind of made sense, you know, Tulip, the Bewitching Beautician, you know, we have the Shine, makes sense for her beauty type of thing, we have the Violet, we have the Scarlet, we have Flame, who definitely played a big role in the gym. I think this was the episode Flame Suicide, right? Then we have M, you know, who also did something really good for the gym, being like both half weak to it, but half strong against it. Then we have her 2 strongest Pokemon, in my opinion, her Gardevoir and her Florgist, you know. It wasn't too hard, it wasn't too easy either, but yeah, it's just kind of its own entity. Then we have our, where was the next one? Grusha. So, yeah, if you can't tell, Rhymes were like one that kind of like specified that we're going to do gyms. Except Grusha I tried to go try hard for, because, you know, we got Scarlet, we got Violet, we got the Spiral, but you don't see the ball because we got the gym badge, which I should have been putting, because I actually, when I realized that I could have been putting gym badges, I looked at myself and I was like, do I want to go re-edit all those thumbnails with the gym badge? And I was like, nah, I'll let Grusha keep it for his special one, because Grusha is the last gym leader. So then we got Arteria, then we've got the Titan, who I personally believe is his ace, but I mean, to be fair, Altaria is a good Pokemon as well. Then we have, of course, Gilgamesh, who this is supposed to be Gilgamesh's big battle, and then Flame kind of took over the main majority of it. And then we have Grusha in a stance. I tried to get like a good one where like Grusha still had his mask up, but I couldn't find one, like the camera wasn't blurry and where we couldn't make out any Grusha details. So I was like, we're gonna keep this one the way it is with this and just slap on all these details to it. Then following that, of course, we had our team star base again. So, you know, we had Ortega. His wasn't too blurry. We had the Scarlet, we had the Violet. That's pretty much it. Ortega pretty much did everything else. Like, his thing was showmanship. No, what was the line from Megamind of him? You know, villain at all, not a super one. Something. It's about presentation. That's kind of what this guy gives me right here. Like, his stance, his smile. Like, just looking at this, it doesn't feel empty except for, like, this small corner. Simply because, like, you have the curtain in the background. You have him riding the star base. You have this big, trying to think of the name, I know it's not a tower, but you know what I mean, behind him. Then he's got like a staff, like, he fits everything for it, so I could just run with Ortega's thing and it would be fine. Then, of course, after him, we had our, this. So, I wanted, as per usual, to make it about the Titans in the thumbnail, except I couldn't find a good image of the Titans for my footage, so I tried to pull one from the internet, and every other one didn't happen at the same time of day mine did. So it would be really weird for me to pull it off from the internet. So I was like, I did say I could make the part about Arven and Mabosstiff doing their thing finally the thumbnail, and I was like, I guess I have no choice, so I did it. You could still see kind of the computer blur from here. And then I was like, okay, let's at least focus a little bit on the Titans so the title isn't a lie entirely. So I was like, let's go grab the Donzo, let's go grab Sugiri, and that's pretty much how this thumbnail came to be. It was an accident in every sense of the word, but I mean, I had no other choice really. It's still a cute thumbnail though. Then we have Eri, my least favorite of the Team Star people now. Scarlet and Violet, standard thing, the boss thing, her pose, you know, with her, like, taking off the luchador thing. I'm really glad that, like, that's where this showed up at, because as we all know, like I said, the Atticus one, where it had my, like, I like him flipping more than I like his stance while his text popped up on screen. So I'm really glad, like, this one happened when she threw away her cape. But this one I do love because it gave me space to put the team, because as you can see, there's like that little space where her team could fit with their feet. So I didn't want to like apply the real rules of gravity where I just shove some team members off to the side randomly floating in the air. So we have Lucario standing firmly, we have M kind of standing firmly, or like even if M's not, or Annihilate, Toxicroak is blocking the feet, and then same with Parisian. I don't think Parisian's on the ground at all. I think Parisian might actually just be using M as a cover. And then we have Toxicroak, who couldn't fit up there, but was like, he's gonna get ahead of everyone because he got that sucker punch. So it was just a nice solid thumbnail, not anything too bulky, very easy to put together. Then we have the finales. So the finales I take partial pride in because, like, this is where I started doing text again, and I really love the idea that I did with these texts because, you know, I did the black text with, like, the white outlines that made them pop, you know, the Scarlet and Violet, and they just look so cool too, especially with, like, the italicized and the bold. They look amazing, especially with these qualities, which, by the way, again, these ones were actually pulled straight from my own footage, so, which is actually pretty cool. The thing with this one, though, that I'm kind of disappointed is even though the game had been out for a while, I always like to play dumb, so people that are for some reason watching the game for the first time from my videos, which if anyone does, thank you for that, but if everyone ever did, I always like to play dumb so I don't spoil something. So when I said in the previous video, I don't know who Team Star Boss is, I just have the assumption. I did a really good job not spoiling it, unlike past me, which I would always spoil it on accident, but yeah, no, the thumbnail kind of, sorry about that, the thumbnail kind of gave it away of who the Team Star Boss was, because, like, versus Penny in this position. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean it's Penny, but I pretty much guaranteed it was Penny, so I feel bad, almost. Then, of course, in our next thumbnail, we have, if I can find it, Path of Legends Arven. You know, I got attached to the Penny one. I did it, but except in reverse, so this time the text was white and the outline was black. You can see a little bit of the white back there, and then I didn't bold this for some reason. I think the bold just looked either. Oh, that's why, because the bold looked weird to me. So I was like, I'm not gonna do that. But it all around looks pretty good. I originally wanted the thumbnail to be like where we walk in to the room where like we talk to Sada, but it just didn't have good quality. So I was like, next best thing, match against Arvin, where like you can see him like getting sight of him slapping his face. Pretty good quality to me, at least. Then we have the Elite Test. You know, the Elite Test was pretty solid. I do not want to add a layer of text. The Elite Test was pretty solid of a thumbnail. You know, I originally was going to do this one on my phone, but because it wouldn't let me get the entire thumbnail on the video, I was like, let me just send it over to my computer and then just edit a little bit. So, you know, we have my two personal favorite members of the Elite Four in their respective positions, you know, Hassel and Rika, and then we have, I want to say her name was Poppy and Larry in the bottom half. They were both cropped out onto my phone, and these two were just like actual people taken from the thumbnail, because I want to line them up all in the same thumbnail, but like it would be weird because their images would look so unsatisfying. But yeah, that's just what they look like, and then I shoved the Elite Test on there because I can, and I did, and that's pretty much how the thumbnail can be. All around very good with like the car lining though. I think the Elite Test could have been slightly higher, but it would have interfered with Hassel's face a little bit more than it already does. Then there's Nemona's thumbnail. So I edit this 4 different times. This thumbnail has 4 different edits because every single time I tried posting it, this would get cut off, this would get cut off, this partially got cut off the one time because it was originally over here in the corner, and same with Scarlet, so I had to move those in. Then I had to move these names slightly closer. I had to like drop the font size a little bit. I had to close them in a little bit more. I had to move these guys closer because they were originally on the far edge after the poll. So I just learned while I was trying to do this thumbnail, do not put anything past the poll because it most likely won't fit on. Nemona fit on barely because of what I did, but yeah, so it was a good thumbnail though. I didn't want to crowd it too much with like every team member. I just wanted to be single 1v1 our starters with Victory Road and Nemona on the side and Scarlet and Violet because, you know, like Victory Road was the name of the mission, like how Path of Legend was the name for Arvin's. Then we had this thumbnail, which I actually did before Nemona's, which was Area Zero's thumbnail, because, again, Nemona's, or technically I did Nemona's first, but because of all the editing I had to do, Nemona's technically ended up after. But, you know, we have this nice shot. I wanted to, I forgot what the original thumbnail was supposed to be, but it was supposed to be somewhere down in, oh, it was supposed to be when we were in Area Zero. Like, you know that cutscene that happens when you're, before you like start talking in Area Zero, but you're in Area Zero. It was supposed to be that, but I couldn't get a good quality image, so I was like, let's just take this one where we are trying to run towards our friends, leaping off the edge. We got some nice, good like hair quality at least. Then we got Scarlet and Violet. Then we have like, you know, the bold Area Zero text. I had real fun doing that text if you couldn't tell. Then, oh wait, this video happened after the Nemona one, which was K's Violet exclusive journey. I had a lot of fun doing the Violet exclusive, or doing the Shield exclusive journey on the Sword and Shield playthrough. So I had a lot of fun, I thought I would have a lot of fun doing another female character with another cool thumbnail, because I enjoyed that thumbnail the most out of all my Let's Plays, I think. So doing this one would have been really nice in my opinion, and I enjoyed it because, you know, I got to show off my entire squad. I didn't get to name them like I wanted to. I had this really nice font for the name, and then I got to even mention the bit that came along with this thumbnail, which was Tokyo Drift, because from where this thumbnail comes from, we just gotten the ability to dash with Miraidon, and I dashed on camera, and I swerved on accident, and then I learned I could do this, so I made it a thing. So Tokyo Drift is a thing. Sadly, I never got to end the Let's Play with it, but yeah, it's a thing now, and it's how I will choose to remember this Let's Play. Tokyo Drift, baby. Still one of my favorite thumbnails I've ever put out of this Let's Play. Then we have The Way Home, the finale episode of the main game, where I wanted originally to make this Sada, like us fighting Sada and have the full squad, but I couldn't do that, so then I tried to do, you know, where big Koraidon comes out, or while our Koraidon is still in his base form, but sadly I didn't have good quality for that one either. And then finally I also tried where our Koraidon transforms into his Apex mode, but I also didn't get good quality for that one either. So I was like, let's just settle for this one where it's all of us walking back home with Koraidon in the middle and just call it The Way Home on the way back. Pretty nice, pretty wholesome, solid, nothing too special about it. Then for the Violet exclusive finishing video, I was like, okay, how do I top that? And I was like, I don't really like Miraidon's thing very much, but then I remembered, wait, there was a picture at the end of the video, so I'm just gonna wait through the credits, and then I saw the picture, try to get a good screenshot quality of it, and then just slapped Our Way Home on it, which all around it still looks relatively solid, you know, like it is a little bit blurry, but I mean, hey, we still got all of us smiling with Miraidon, so we got a different wholesome image. So while we got the wholesome image for Scarlet on the back, we got the wholesome image for Violet from the front, so all around pretty solid. Then we have our gym leader rematch. So this is where if I was actually doing like full separate Let's Play content, I would have been like, this Violet would have been here very prominent. The Scarlet part wouldn't be here at all. But no, I just took the gym leaders, cropped down their images a little bit, and then shoved my Violet team on this because this was the episode where Violet would just get to like go down memory lane, and I get to tell you guys about all these stories with the Violet team that you guys never got to see happen because it happened off screen. So we had Chi-Chi, Igor, Serena, Nobunaga, Cerebre, and Lix all on one squad. See, the weird thing is, I always forgot, like, whenever I have to pull these off from the internet, I always forgot what, like, name of half my team members were. Like, I always remember Lix because that was easy, he was my starter. I always remembered Nobunaga because I always wanted King Gambit on the squad. I always remember Ceruledge because, again, I always wanted Ceruledge on the squad. And then these three I always forgot. Or, like, Titan was easy to remember because I remember, like, last teammate. But these two I always forgot, to where the first time I looked up Igor, I literally typed in bug Pokemon from Paldea. And I just found it on the first attempt. So it's very hard to remember those ones because they're really random. Then, of course, past that, we have our Battles Down Memory Lane thumbnail, you know, where we have the other half of the gym squad. We have Esparta right here. We have Watts, who I have a really good image for from the internet. We got Fang, we got M, we got Flame, and we got Gilgamesh taking up a little bit of Katie's space. Yeah, I kind of took pride in blocking Katie, if you couldn't tell. So it was just a very simplistic thumbnail. I think my favorite part about this is just Iona. I don't know why I like Iona's presence in thumbnails. Like, she's just so bright and just makes it so much more passionate, in my opinion. Then we have the lessons learned thumbnail. I made this 10 minutes before the video got up. So every other thumbnail you've seen so far, I pretty much made like 3 thumbnails a day pretty much, because I could always download 3 thumbnails a day for free from this website. So I would always do like 3 a day, so I'll always be randomly ahead. Yeah, this is where I stopped being ahead, and I just like waited till like the last 10 minutes of before the video went up to actually make the thumbnail. So I was like, quick, what can I do? And I was like, there's nothing really interesting that happens in the video, so lessons learned it is, where I just go us into the lecturing hall. We can see Gita kind of says what we might do in the video, who knows. We got the Scarlet and Violet, and that was pretty much it. Then for the next one, again, waited till the next 10 minutes or the last 10 minutes, was this one. This one actually was I like cut this to the wall. I think it was like the last minute before it went up, where I was able to put it onto YouTube. But anyways, you know, we got our standard Scarlet and Violet. We got Miss Ryfort here. Thankfully, that was already the thumbnail that the video had set, so I just had to download that, so I didn't have to go take a picture. And then I was like, okay, I don't really want to bother any other teacher, or like I can't really find a clear image of anyone, so let's just do the major ones and get like the 4 legendaries that caused me so much pain and suffering into the thumbnail. Because at the end of the day, that is what half the video is. Half the video is teacher bonding, yes, but then the other half is us trying to catch these pseudo legendaries for Miss Ryfort. So I was like, let's go 2 birds, 1 stone, 1 teacher bonding, and then 4 sub legendaries is what we're kind of going for the main Let's Play. Then after that, we have our Star Training Center thumbnail, you know, where we have just us going against the Team Star. Here's how this one came out. I pulled the images, and as you can see, this is where we see the Violet exclusive stuff. I pulled this straight from Bowopedia. We have Aries tie, Ortega's bow tie, and then Mella's choker, as we can all see visibly, that have their different outfits. I think maybe even no, I don't think Gigakuma's outfit's different though. It might be. Like, it may be blue and scarlet and then purple and violet, but who knows. And then, you know, I have their aces for their respective squads. Like, Melee's is Colosso, Wigglytuff for some reasons Ortega, Dragolage is my personal favorite for Atticus, Annihilate for Airy, and then Mabasta for some reason for Giacomo. And then for the background, because I had taken all these already, like, cropped, no background images, I was like, fuck, what do I do for the background? And I just Google searched Team Star logo, and yeah, this popped up. So I just copied and pasted it into the back. So yeah, it was a very simplistic thumbnail. It didn't really do anything big. I waited the last 14 minutes to do this one. I finished it in 6 minutes, so I'm really proud of myself for that. And then we have the Scarlet and Violet in the background. I was going to make them bigger, but I didn't want it to overtake Colossal, and because of the way I already set this up, I kind of had to. And Melee's hair was like this. I didn't make it like this. That's actively how her hair looked from the image I got, and same with Atticus and same with Airy, except Aries looks more natural. Then we have the not the final thumbnail. This one I did second to last because I did the Ace Academy, or I did this one last because I did the Ace Academy thumbnail first. But that is Return to Area 0. So this was actually one of my favorite thumbnails from last week. Like, I have my top 5 personally, but this is one of my favorite ones because look at this. I got a better image of us going down to Area 0 because I pulled one straight from the internet. Then I had every single Paradox Pokemon, or that was available to me. So I purposely didn't include Walking Wake, I think it's called, the one for the legendary whose name is eluding me right now, and Iron Leaves for Verizon. I purposely didn't put those in there because I didn't have access to them. But, you know, I put Delibird or Iron Bundle, Iron Treads, Iron Hands, you're going to catch these hands, Iron Thorns, Iron Valiant, Iron Jugulus, Iron Moth, and then Miraidon. Fun fact about this one, Iron Hands, I actively tried to grab the image for, because it was the first one I grabbed outside of these two, and then I guess I just forgot to copy and paste it over because I had saved the thumbnail once I was done, but I was like, something feels like it's missing, and I counted all the paradoxes thinking that they should be even, and I was right that I was missing one, and I went to go find Iron Hands, and I was like, God fucking damn it, I thought I copied you, because I know I pulled up the thing to copy, but I guess I forgot to. But then we have, for the Scarlet side, Great Tusk, you know, we've got, trying to remember the name of this one, can't think of it, but the past form of Amoonguss. We have Slitherwing, my personal favorite in terms of names. We have, well, second personal favorite in terms of names. Then we have Fluttermane, one of my favorites in general. Then we have Screamtail. We have Sandy Shocks, my least favorite in general. We have Roaring Moon, my personal favorite in terms of name. Then we have Koraidon in his, forgot what his actual name is, but King of the Skies, I think was his actual name is, which is just a cool fucking name. But, yeah, no, like, we got this cool thumbnail out of it. Like, we get this high quality, we have the text return, and then we have Scarlet on top, Violet on the bottom. This was not meant to, like, show superiority in any way, shape, or form. I wanted to have them in their respective corners, but, you know, they would take up, like, space from these guys, so I was like, let's just do this. And all around, like, it looks good. It has good quality. It has all the Pokemon mentioned in this video. It has the text returning back. All around, very solid, and I really like that thumbnail. And then the final thumbnail that we have is the Ace Academy Brawl. So this one I chose to go all out with. I wanted to get a good image of both Kay and Ezel getting a throw in with their ball, except the thing is Kay's, I guess because the female one apparently moves much smoother. Believe this or not, when I was editing the thumbnail from these guys throwing their balls, the female one moved so much faster because, like, while this one was more compact, like, I get a good frame where the body wasn't, like you kind of see a little bit was moving out of place, like, the eyes were already getting ready to shift to the next frame, but they was mostly still in the same frame. For Kay, I swear to you, in this same frame, you could still see, like, the hair moving on to the next one, the eyes moving on to the next one, and vice versa. Like, straight up, I think the female model moves just slightly more faster than the male model does, so I was like, okay, let me get one of me throwing the ball, and then we can get one of Kay charging the ball, and then obviously I was gonna put our whole squad on here. So sadly for this side I didn't get to, like, have them linked because they would have blocked up my face, but, you know, we have Gilgamesh, Flame, M, Fang, Espada, and Watts, and then we have Lix, Serena, Chi-Chi, trying to remember, Cerebre, oh, apparently your face got covered. I didn't realize your face got covered. Nobunaga, and then finally Igor in the background. So we got a lot of niche thumbnails out of it. So it's not necessarily my favorite. Again, I think my favorite has to go to either Tokyo Drift, regardless of quality, the Starfall Street for Penny, or straight up, where did it go? Or straight up just this one, where'd it go? I lost it. This one, because it looks cool. But either way, though, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Those have been my thumbnails that I made for the Scarlet and Violet playthrough. Why I like them, why I don't like them, maybe. It's just simple as that. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, join us, go follow Twitch, and I'll see you all in the next one. Don't forget to check us out.